Tax Committee meeting to order for November 8th. I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes from September 19th. Gene, second Matt. Any discussion, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Mike, you're up.
Almost said good morning.
Yeah.
If you could just pass those down through, please. I'll make it real short and sweet. Revenue collected through 11/2 of 17 was $3,604,312. Revenue for the same period in 16 was $3,439,675, which is an increase of 4.57%. So we're up 4.5%. Questions?
Excellent. Good job.
Fail.
Said the magic words.
Good job for the hotels.
Anybody have any questions?
Do you have anything
Gene?
on occupancy tax, or is this just sales tax?
No, this is occupancy.
Oh, this is
tax.
occupancy. I thought
Did I
this
say
was
sales? I'm sorry if
How
I
about
said sales tax.
Oh,
You said sales and I thought occupancy, so
I just,
we're even.
I was just dealing with the sales tax stuff, so I apologize for that. This is occupancy.
Sorry, I thought you said
Sales tax, for what it's worth, is up 1.9%, so.
Anybody else? Thank you, Michael. We have a full house. I'm going to ask anybody if they want privilege of the floor before we get started. Nobody? No takers? Okay. Our action agenda is our 2018 spending plan. It's okay. Basically, what we've done is we've delineated in our budget spending items specifically, rather than putting them under generic titles so you knew exactly what we're spending and where we're spending it. As we discussed a little earlier, we have $150,000 in there for the water feature for the festival area, the Festival Commons. We've also been talking to and negotiating with the Lake George Regional Chamber and CVB. We've agreed to set aside $300,000 of occupancy tax for the CVB, and we'll be entering into a contract hopefully soon relating to the spending of that money. We also allocated the coming year $250,000 to the Civic Center. I've had many discussions with them. They have another 3-year plan, so we're participating. And which one? Oh yeah, that's a big one. We also set aside event funding for the county at $198,000, and that covers the list of 8 events that we approved last month. Maracade, Garage Sale Weekend, the Balloon Festival, the Standard 8. So they are a fixed list, and it's $198,000. We've set aside that money in here. And then we have the we also have the reallocation of occupant tax money to the municipalities, town, city, and county. So
That's to be allocated above the 30,000?
correct. To the towns, yes, in addition to the standard 30,000. So I would entertain a motion to bring this resolution to the floor.
Bring it
Matt?
forward.
Matt? Did the Matt thing?
I do have a question. just
Okay.
To clarify, so I'm understanding correctly. So, some of the events from 2016, 27 that applied for county funding that aren't on the list, they still have the option to apply to the towns, respectively, correct?
That is correct. That's part of the reallocation of funds is to do just that.
Okay.
Yep.
I just want to make sure that.
Yep. We probably didn't do the best job advertising what to do in this situation since we were changing the rules and the allocation of monies, but yes. So if they have an application that came to the county, they can roll it over to the city or town or
Okay.
village. Anybody else? I'm afraid of calling. Go ahead.
Thank you for doing
Yeah,
doing so
Claudia.
anyway, Chairman. Can you just explain the change exactly, how the allocation used to be, and then what the reallocation is this year? Obviously, I know the 300,000 is a different animal.
We have been working on this for a while, Claudia. We initially reallocated more monies to the towns 2 years ago, and we've kept 3 years ago, and we've kept that up. It's again in here. That's what allowed us to set aside the 8 events that we have every year at the county level and be able to handle that in one resolution. So as Matt said, as some of those events that came to the county for funding that are not on that list of 8 can go to the individual town, city, or village with their requests.
That helps, that it's been 3 years. So since my term, this is the same as it has been, the last 2, just for my purposes.
Okay.
It really isn't a change okay.
Okay.
I understand. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Just the CVB board has been changed.
Right.
Yes.
That's added to
Yeah.
it, right?
From 175 to 300?
Well, it's more complicated than that, but the simple answer is if we kept our contract alive, we'd be at 210. But we didn't renew that contract. Instead, we renegotiated, and we allocated 300,000.
That's the simple answer?
That's the simple answer. Can't get any simpler than that. Anybody else? So, yes.
So, where do you see this going? This pot of money, this occupancy tax money, obviously it's 164,000 this year. Give me your thoughts on where this is going. Is this going to be our format going forward on a consistent basis, or do you see it evolving into something else, or developing more money into something else that you think, this is a start maybe for the CVB? I mean, give me your thoughts on that, because I'm not sure where we're going.
Doug, that's not a simple answer.
I know, it wasn't a simple question.
But I'm glad you asked it. I have been talking to and negotiating with and discussing and arguing this plan with a lot of the business people, a number of them that are here. My long-term goal, and this is just the beginning, it could go anywhere, but my long-term goal is to give the CVB, which is a standalone organization outside of the county, a chance to show us their colors. So we've given them some money and see what they can do in this coming year. And my hope is that they will eventually have their own executive board. I see that board having I think 3 elected officials on it and the rest of them business people. So they have control spending of that money. And part of their deal for this year, thanks to the gracious help of Supervisor Molino, the CVB needs some manpower to help them do what they want to do. Kristen has a vigorous program. She needs some help with that. So Gina's agreed to allow them to utilize some of our labor force in the tourism department to reach their goals in the CVB. The long term is, I think over time, and I don't know how long this is, but over time we're going to, as they succeed, we will continue to try to fund them more. Where that goes, I don't know, but that's our intent. So the better they do, the more money they get, hopefully the better they continue to do. Cooperating closely with the tourism department and the CVB is a forethought to consolidating over time. It's important that they coordinate with the tourism department so we don't have any overlap. The tourism department knows what the CVB is trying to do. The CVB knows what the tourism department's doing. So hopefully we'll get more power out of our money that we spend by coordinating that. I don't know. Seems like a good plan to me, and I'm looking forward to implementing it. Gene?
Well, if I could put my 2 cents into that, if you look at what we just did now, 164,000 in OpEx, so that pushes forward for next year. You know, all these things were already basically in the works for a couple of years as funding sources. So now, if we keep increasing the OpEx, there'll be more money to spread it out a little further into different directions, and that's the goal for the next 3 years. That's in my part of the story.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Jim.
I think obviously we're all in this together. I think everybody in this room, no one's against anybody. We're all in this together. The more this region prospers with tourism, the better it is for every single person sitting in this room. And so I just want to, my question was, and thank you for taking the time to answer it, was what's our direction? Because I wasn't sure what direction went, but it looks like to me, listening to you, it seems like we'll fund the CVB, we'll let them see what the impact they can have in conjunction with our tourist department. Maybe down the road they'll morph together if that could be more productive and bring in more revenue, again, which benefits every single person in this room. That's what I'm hearing. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
You're welcome, Doug. Claudia?
Do we have the draft renegotiated contract available to review?
No.
No.
We do not have that yet. We're in the early stages. I've asked Gina Metzner to get a proposal. Told me she's done that. I've been a little busy the last couple of weeks, so we haven't really moved off that, but I intend to get on it right now. We've actually asked them for a performance contract. Tell us what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. And then that'll give us the opportunity to be able to give them a report card at the end of the year. Hopefully a good one. Okay. Anybody else? Matt?
When will you be able to review that contract?
As soon as I get it. We need to have it done by the end of the year.
So
I would definitely be shooting for by the end of the year. And as soon as we get it in a form where it's approaching final, then we'll bring it out and give everybody a chance to look at it. I don't expect and hope it's not too complicated, but you never know. You get the attorneys involved. Anybody else? Claudia?
On a different subject, did we receive applications on those 8 projects?
I don't know that. We have one?
They're in the works.
They're in the works. We've contacted them, we've notified them of what's going on, and we're just waiting for them to come in. As soon as I know, you'll know. Yeah?
Last one.
I'm gonna write that down.
When will some of the events that aren't on this list be able to begin applying to the towns?
All the towns, the city and the village are different. I never personally had a deadline or a drop dead date in Lake George. We give the money out all year.
Okay.
So somebody thinks up something on May 3rd, they give us an application, we review it and decide whether or not they're eligible for the money. Some of them have deadlines. The village does a deadline. They have a lot of rules. They only give money to nonprofits, and they have a set date. You make an application on that date, they go and they go through the thing, they divvy up the money, it's done for the year. And they usually give out all the money. And we do the same with the town and the village of Lake George took their additional monies they got and we pooled them. So we have a joint RTAX committee, and we've got a couple people from the private sector on that, and that we do a one shot as well. Now, usually we give all the money out, but more often than not, some of the events will fold up their tent before they ever pull them off, and they'll give their money back. So usually we have some money available if somebody comes along later with a good idea or a need. Gene?
Now, Lake Luzerne does. We have a November 10th, December 10th. We just sent letters out to everybody got money last year, requesting their request for this year, plus a complete list of what they spent the money on last year, with a notification that they have to keep everything on file, so if we're audited, we can get it right away. And then we keep a little bit on the side for a couple of smaller ones that might pop up during the year.
Great. Anything else? Got a motion on the floor? Right?
Yeah, there was a second also.
Yep. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Now, does anybody have any questions? From the peanut gallery? Yes? Excuse me, could you come up to the mic so we can get this recorded, please? Thank you.
Just a quick question of what the balance is in the surplus fund for occupancy tax? Do you know?
I don't have that off the
Okay,
top of my
okay,
head,
no
I'm
problem.
sorry. If you want to give me a call
Yeah.
later this afternoon or next week, I can give it to you.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Yep.
Anybody else? Once? Twice? Motion to adjourn? Gene? Second, and Edna? All in favor?
Aye.
Done. Thank you.